CEO of Peninsula Credit Union, Jim Morrell. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Jeff.
Happy Friday to you.
It's going to be a great weekend.
It really will be, and this is a big deal not only for credit unions across the country, but it's also always good to bring a little more spotlights to our local community. You have been recently announced and placed as Board Vice Chairperson for the NACHA, the Electronics Payment Association. So we all, not all of us, but many folks now starting to get direct deposits.
Right.
And this is this program, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an honor for me to be able to serve in this capacity. The board of NACHA, the Electronic Payments Association, is comprised of 19 people from all different types of organizations, financial institutions. So it's the only association I know of that connects all 12,000 financial institutions across this country. And you're absolutely right. It's something that most people would never even knew existed. But if it didn't exist and if it didn't manage the rules of how money moved around on the ACH network, then they would notice. So it's a really important organization.
Back in September, they started, well, now you guys started to work towards this same day ACH. And what does ACH stand for?
So ACH stands for Automated Clearinghouse.
Okay.
So as you explained to everyone before, it's things like direct deposits, or sometimes you might go to one of your biller's websites and put in your checking account information, and then they take that money, debit that money from your credit, from your checking account. And so that process of electronic payments has always been a couple of days in the making, right? It would happen today, and a couple days later, then the money would either be deposited into your account or taken out. In September, the big advancement that was made in the United States was that those transactions can happen on the same day. So in September of 2016, last fall, it was credits, it was deposits to your account. And in September of this year, it's a phased-in process where money will be able to be taken from your account.
It says at the end of last year, this same day from the clearinghouse, responsible for then more than 13 million credit transactions, $17 billion, and the average transaction is about $1,300.
Right. So we saw on the very first day that same day ACH went into effect here locally, a large business, which if I could share who that was, everybody would know, had something happen with their payroll system. And rather than making their employees wait from Friday to the following Monday, they'd use the same day ACH to pay them that same day. So it's a big deal. The vast majority, 95% of what we're seeing in the first few months of same-day ACH is related to payroll, and a lot of other payments, 68%, are related to one-time types of payments.
How many folks are on the board that you are now a member of that are part of credit unions?
So we have 3 natural person credit unions, myself, a representative from Navy Federal Credit Union, the largest credit union in the country, and then another credit union based out of Texas that's a little bit bigger than Peninsula, but not a whole lot in larger size. So
what does that mean for our community to have you represent us, the country, credit unions, all about with this type of thing?
Right.
What are some of the things you can be doing?
Well, what I hope to bring to the discussions at the NACHA table, because in addition to the credit union folks, I'm also sitting around a boardroom table with people from Wells Fargo and Chase, American Express, Centurion Bank, and the like, is what's actually happening in consumers' life, what's happening on Main Street, or in our case, Railroad Avenue here in Shelton, and provide that perspective to the way that the ACH network operates and how people understand that. Businesses here and some of our local governments and hospitals over the last year or so have begun to consider putting direct deposit for their payroll into place. So are there educational resources that can be provided to them, which is another aspect of what the NACHA organization provides for financial institutions, as well as other organizations and corporate entities that want to use electronic payments.
A lot of people have a comfort in getting a check and being able to see it and then taking it to the bank. A lot of this now is behind the scenes. You know, you'll wake up the morning of your payday now, usually, and you'll see the deposit is there. What can you tell the folks that are more used to the old school way of doing it, depositing a check by hand, for safety and concerns?
It's a really good question, and it's one we deal with a variety of different money topics, right? What I can share is that, as I mentioned, all 12,000 financial institutions in the country participate. There were 24 billion transactions processed through the ACH network last year, with $41 trillion of money that was moved, and it's one of the largest. It makes it one of the largest, or the largest, electronic payment systems in the entire world, and one of the most safest and secure ways to transfer money.
You're also a member of the Northwest Credit Union Association, and did that help in getting you onto the board here? Or how did the process even come about?
Sure. So it's quite an extensive process. On behalf of credit unions from this area, I also sit on a board called WestPay, which is a regional payment association. WestPay is largely there for staff like I have on our team at Peninsula Credit Union to help educate them and teach them the rules, and not only about ACH but wires and other payments topics. And so it was WestPay that asked, could we put your name forward on behalf and serving as a representative of a payment association that covers 12 Western states, as a natural person credit union, and also as a smaller institution. So I sort of wear three different hats when I'm sitting at the NACHA board table. Sometimes multiple hats all on, and sometimes taking one off and putting another one on. So it was really through the WestPay organization, but it also with our association in Washington and Oregon for our trade association, the Northwest Credit Unions, I can provide information back to them as well as to the Credit Union National Association across the country.
Yeah, we talk a lot about banks and credit unions and the differences between the two, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but the things that the citizens, the folks are doing on Main Street sometimes gets lost in the shuffle when the banks are bigger, large corporation banks. Will will you be able to have some more direct influence with these other folks on the board? Say, hey, this is how things are happening on a credit union street level versus kind of the way that we see the larger banks operating.
One of the friends that I've made on the board, which is from another institution, which he and I have developed a very close friendship, and it was really an honor when he kept on asking me, do I like my experience on the NACHA board? Do I find value out of that? And I said, absolutely. It's helpful for me in my understanding. After the third or fourth time that he asked, I said, why do you keep on asking? He said, well, you're always the one that sort of raises your hand and asks if we're doing the right thing for our members of the association, the financial institutions, and you ask questions about how this impacts consumers on the street. And I said, thank you very much, because I took that as a very high compliment.
Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. Jim Morrell, the CEO of Peninsula Credit Union. It is a $172 million federally chartered credit union, 17,800 members, tons of counties around here, and always good work. In addition to that, you do a lot of great work around here with the Community Foundation, the South Puget Sound, and the Credit Union for Kids Advisory Group for the Seattle Children's Hospital. A very busy man, but has your ear to the street and really keeps an eye out on what's going on for the local community.
Very important for us to do that. That's who makes us. That's who helps Peninsula Credit Union move forward and serve the interests of our community.
Well, congratulations on this.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Good to see you. Good to talk with you, and I'm sure we'll be talking again real soon.